right, I'm streaming. Here we go. Yes, I love seeing that green light. Awesome. Hello, 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 everybody. Valerie Lewis right here, coming to you live from the suburbs of Washington, D.C. Today is day number 10 as we go into chapter 9 of The Science of Getting Rich. And we're going to be talking about how to use the will. Let me just tell y'all, this is one of my favorite chapters. I know I've said that just about for like every chapter, but this is definitely one of my favorites. It makes all the difference for so many people, and we are going to discuss that, and it's coming up. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Okay, I'm so excited about this. Let's jump right in. You guys know I always discuss from the opening paragraph all the way down to the end. And listen, right here in the first paragraph, he could have just closed this chapter like with this first sentence, okay? He goes in to say, to set about getting rich in a scientific way, you do not try to apply your willpower to anything outside of yourself. I see too many people trying to do this. But before I get into that, okay, especially in business, like what are y'all doing? Like, come on, especially network marketers. And I'm a network marketer, but I don't do that. Okay, so we're gonna get into this. All right. Oh, and I'm sorry for those of you that might be tuning in for the very first time. You haven't seen the previous chapters. You do definitely want to do that. But I am doing this business builder book club. Now, granted, Science of Getting Rich is not a book specifically for business owners or specifically about business. This is definitely for anybody who is looking to, obtain riches for the purpose of living your biggest, fullest, best life, mind, body, and soul. So as you go back through the previous chapters, you'll understand that, and as you watch the previous videos, you'll get our different viewpoints and things like that. So anyway, into this. So I'm speaking about it from a business owner's point of view, having owned a salon for quite some time, and then also now working 100% from home, or really anywhere. Okay. But I have a couple online businesses now, so we'll get into that at another time. But anyway, that's kind of like my viewpoint. I'm looking at this as a business owner, and I'm like, you right. Okay, so he goes on to say, you have no right to do so anyway. It is wrong. Like, duh, right? We all know this. But anyway, it is wrong to apply your will to other men and women in order to get them to do what you wish done. It is as flagrantly wrong to coerce people by physical force. Let's make this bigger. It is flagrantly wrong to coerce people by mental power as it is to coerce them by physical power. So if compelling people by physical force to do things for you reduces them to slavery, then compelling them by mental means accomplishes the exact same thing. And I totally agree with that. When people are talking about, oh my gosh, I got to get more sales in my business, what can I do to make people buy? And I always say nothing. You can't make a person buy. And the thing is, when you look around, people are buying stuff all the time. Even in a bad economy, when people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't have any money. But they're going shopping. They're still going out to parties. They're still spending time with their friends and loved ones. They're still traveling. So, hold on. Excuse me. Woo, sorry about that. And this always happens when I'm on camera. And here I am live. I can't edit this out, but that's okay. Because we're just hanging out together. I got my tea. Hopefully you got your tea, okay? But anyway, I totally agree with that statement. You cannot make people do something. And even though people say they don't have the money, they find a way. People can make excuses, but you know what's even better than making an excuse? Getting resourceful and figuring this thing out. If there's something you really want, you will find a way to get it. Hello. right? If there's something you really want, you'll find a way. If I tell you you need life-saving surgery and it's going to cost you $10,000, and you're initially you might think, oh, I don't have $10,000. But when you compare $10,000 to living, you start thinking, what can I do to get $10,000? It's time to get on the phone, call some friends, family. It's time to go make some money. I got to get a second, third job. Like, I need to go to the bank, see if I can take out a loan. Like, you start getting resourceful, right? If you just got finished paying all your bills and you're left with $5, you only got $5 left over, and the electric company calls you and says, oh my gosh, you're $7 short. And if we don't have this money in today, we're cutting your lights off, right? I mean, I know they don't do that. I'm just using that as an example, right? So if that happens and they need $7 and you got 5, are you going to say to them, I'm sorry, go ahead and cut it off now. I only have 5, not 7. Thanks. No. You want, hello, neighbor? You got $2, right? You gonna start reaching in the couch cushion, seeing if you can come up with $2 and change, like something. You're going to do something. You're not gonna just lay down and let life roll over the top of you, right? When it's the things that matter to you, you make it happen. So let me ask you this, business owners: does your business really matter to you? Is this really something that you're using as a vehicle to get you where you want to be in life so that you can provide more for your children, put more food on the table, put the kids in a better environment, better schooling? Are you looking to live the type of lifestyle where you can do things on your own terms and have choice freedom? You're looking to travel more? Are you really? Because if so, nothing should be able to stop you. And we talked about that yesterday, so go watch that video. But anyway, all right, so here we go. Then he goes on to say, the only difference is in methods. Okay, so slavery, forcing someone physically to do something is no different than forcing someone mentally to do something. So you trying to force your will on other people is just as enslaving and oppressive as the physical act itself. Okay, so then he goes on to say, if taking things from people by physical force is robbery, hello somebody, okay, then taking things from mental force is robbery also. There is no difference in principle. You have no right to use your willpower upon another person, even, quote, for his own good. For you do not know what is for his good. The science of getting rich does not require you to apply power or force to any other person in any way whatsoever. There is not the slightest necessity for doing so. Indeed, any attempt to use your will upon others will only tend to defeat your purpose. Hello? Hello. Okay. So the thing about that is, I want y'all to think about something, especially those of you that are like me. You're in an online business or a digital franchise. You do network marketing or multi-level marketing or affiliate marketing or direct sales. I want you to think about something. What's your upline teaching you to do? Are they teaching you to force your will upon others? Here's some examples. 3-way calls. You are forcing your will on other people when you do a 3-way call. Here's how I see it. Okay, this is just my opinion, but come on, think about it. You connect with a person. The person finally lets their guard down for you to, tell them a little bit more about your business, and you say, hold on one moment, I'm going to bring somebody into our conversation and get this person to get you to buy, to get you to join. I'm sorry, that is misuse and abuse of the will. I don't like it. Like, 3-way calls leave such a bad taste in my mouth. I've done a video about it. Y'all got to go check that out. Okay. I am ranting in that video about 3-way calls. It's ridiculous. The whole point of you having a successful business is for you to be able to build the rapport and build the trust. Now, how you going to build the trust and then point them to a total stranger? That's crazy. It makes no sense. But anyway, that's one example. Here's another one. Has your upline told you to take this copy and paste message and go message everybody you know on Facebook. Doesn't matter if you just talked to them yesterday or you haven't talked to them in the 10 years that Facebook has been around. Right? Just, hey, send them a message. Hey, you look like a sharp, like-minded individual who's interested in health and wellness products, because hey, everybody's interested in health and wellness, aren't they? I mean, doesn't it make sense for you to be interested in your health and make sure you're a healthy person so that you can live long for your family? And you just go on and on. You're forcing your thoughts and ideas, forcing your business opportunity, your products and services on somebody else. This will only accomplish the opposite of what you're trying to do. So we're going to read on to see how to properly use the will, because that's what the chapter is all about. But I really want you to think about some of the methods and the tactics, because a lot of things that these network marketing companies are teaching you to do, and your upline is teaching you to do, sounds like this. It's very sleazy, salesy, and it sounds like a scam. And that's why people are running away from you. This is why network marketing has such a bad reputation. Such a bad rep. So, you want to think about whether or not you are going to stand out amongst the 97% who are acting like this is a scam and a get-rich-quick scheme and treating it as such, and instead, you want to treat this like a professional. You are a professional. You are in business. You should be running your business with some integrity. Don't you think? That's what I teach my coaching clients. That's what I teach the people on my team. I do not teach them these sleazy tactics and methods. It's ridiculous. And you don't need to. And you'll attract people to you instead of having to chase them down and trick them into buying your stuff. Right? You want to look at, that's why people are looking at it as a scam. Don't get mad at them. They don't know any better because of the experiences that they've had prior. Give them a better experience. Okay, so anyway, he goes on to say you do not need to apply your will to things in order to compel them to come to you. That would be simply trying to coerce God. And you would be foolish and useless. Okay, it would be foolish and useless as well as irreverent. You do not have to compel God to give you good things any more than you have to use your willpower to make the sun rise. I love that. Do you though? Do you have to compel the sun to rise or set? Right? Do you have to compel the waves to roll in and the tide to be high and low? Absolutely not. Do you have to compel the earth to have gravity? No. I love that. I love that. These things are going to work regardless. And the thing about God, and we've talked about this before, and I respect whatever your belief system is, so I really don't want to get all into the sorry you guys, I'm like something in my eyes driving me nuts. But I really don't want to get into that type of conversation into the comments, as far as like getting into an argument about, God versus, I don't know, well, I should say, like Christianity versus being a Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist, like whatever you are, I totally respect that. So I'm just sharing with you what I see from my worldview, and you are free to also share yours as well in the comments, like for sure. Okay, I just don't want anything disrespectful. There's no need for that crap. Okay, especially if you believe in a higher power and you believe in being a good person, then why are you trying to cuss people out in a YouTube comment? I just get lost about that. Okay. So anyway, oh, I feel another sneeze coming on too. I'm just warning you guys. Anyway, he goes on to say you do not have to use your willpower to conquer any unfriendly deity or to make stubborn and rebellious forces do your bidding either, right? So when people are going into all these occultic practices and all that kind of stuff, like, stop, you don't need to do that. Substance is friendly to you and is more anxious to give you what you want, right? You should be more anticipating. People mix up anticipating and anxious all the time. But anyway, to give you what you want than you are to get it. All right. And that's so true. The God I know, the God I serve, is a friendly, loving God. All his anger has been exhausted on the cross when Jesus took my place. Okay. And stood in for me and took my punishment that I deserved. in exchange for me getting all the goodness that he deserves. That's my belief. Okay? And because of that, now there is no more condemnation. Now, just as God promised to never flood the earth again, he has also promised to never be angry with me again. That's what I'm reading from Isaiah, right? I don't know. I don't know. Like, some people, I don't know what they, okay. Anyway, so let's see. What part am I on? Right. Okay. I just read that. To get rich, you only need to use your willpower upon yourself. When you know what to think and do, then you must use your will to compel yourself to think and do the right things. That is the legitimate use of the will in getting what you want. To use it in holding yourself to the right course. You use your will to keep yourself thinking and acting in the certain way. Now, my absolute favorite pastor in the whole wide world, my pastor, okay, Joseph Prince, like, he teaches about this. He's got a book out called Right Living Leads to Right Believing. I'm sorry, Right Believing leads. I'm all over the place today, y'all. Let me get some tea. Right believing leads to right living. Okay. So a lot of people do it backwards. They try to live right, and then that will cause them to believe right. That's backwards, because you always think before you act. It has to be an idea in your mind before you actually do it, whether you want to admit it or not. Like, some people are like, I didn't know why I did it. Yes, you do. You made a choice to do it. Right? So just as sure as I would not stop in the middle of this conversation to go and use the bathroom because I don't have a need to go to the bathroom. It's not a thought in my head, oh, I have to use the bathroom. It's like, come on, people. Okay? Like, even when you're blinking, it's an involuntary thing. But the mind is at work to make it happen. Okay? So anyway, let's get back into this. Oh yeah. So when it comes to like right believing will lead to right living. So this is why in this book he talked about thinking in a certain way in the chapter before this one. What you think will affect what you're going to do. So now that you're starting to think the right things, you can use those thoughts to help get you into action of doing those right things. Okay? Same thing with my personal belief. With my belief system, now that I know that I am seen as righteous and holy in the eyes of God, now I know I can come to him in prayer, talk to him. He is my best friend. I don't have to worry about whether or not he hears my prayer. Like, of course he does. He is my father. I can go to him for provision. I can go to him for protection. Right? And he wants to do these things for me. He wants me to be blessed, to be happy, to have more than enough. And when you think about it, you as a parent also want these things for your child. You want to give them the good things just as much as they want to ask you for it. And 9 times out of 10, you are already in motion making these things happen before they even come to you and ask you for it, because you know your child and you know what they want. Hello, somebody. Hello. Ding, ding. Right? So same kind of thing. And then you can just apply what I said to your own personal belief, because I'm sure like the majority of all these belief systems have something to that effect, right? So anyway, do not try to project your will or your thoughts or your mind out into space, okay, to act on things or people. Keep your mind at home, up in here, okay? It can accomplish more than elsewhere, okay? It can accomplish more there than elsewhere. Use your mind to form a mental image of what you want and hold that vision with faith and purpose, and use your will to keep your mind working in the right way. The more steady and continuous your faith and purpose, the more rapidly you will get rich, because you will make only positive impressions on substance, and you will not neutralize or offset them by negative impressions. I like that. Okay, so look, check this out. So, again, when it comes to my personal belief, right? There's a passage in the Bible that says faith comes by hearing and by hearing the word of God. Have you ever gone and studied that in its original Greek text? Because there is no comma in there. Normally when you read it in English, it's faith comes by hearing, comma, and by hearing the word of God. Well, there was not a comma there. So it really should read faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing, right? The more you hear something, even if you're saying it out of your own mouth to hear it, the more you're hearing and hearing and hearing it, the more you start thinking on it, the more it becomes a belief for you, and the more it becomes a belief, the more you start operating, acting, and creating habits out of that belief. Okay, and that's where that comes from. You start to develop more faith the more you continue to have your mind focused on that. And people can have faith in good things as well as having faith in bad things. So make a choice. Which one do you want to believe more? When you have a faith in the bad things, that's why people are worried all the time and stressed out. But when you have a faith in what's true, when you have a faith in the things that are good, that's when you have a more positive outlook. That's when you have hope, right? Because you expect these things to come, right? And it goes on to say, if you read in the original, it actually says by the word of Christos, which is Christ, who I believe is God. A lot of people don't believe that. Cool. You don't have to put that in my comments. I'm already aware that there are people like those folks that don't believe that. I'm cool with that. You ain't got to believe it. Just like you don't have to believe the sun shines, okay? It does, okay? So, but that's why you can't impose your will on people, because it doesn't matter what anybody says to me. I'm still going to keep believing what I believe, and they're still going to keep believing what they believe. So when it comes to beliefs, opinions is one thing. You can change somebody's opinion about something, but a belief, don't waste your breath trying to change somebody's belief. You can't do that. Okay? And I believe only Jesus can do that. So anyway, let's get back into the book, because again, I don't want to go off on a tangent, and I'm not forcing my will onto you. You believe whatever you want to. Enjoy. All right. So the pictures of your desires, held with faith and purpose, is taken up by the formless, and it permeates it to great distances throughout the universe for all I know. Okay? I'm sorry. I didn't read that properly. Okay. And permeates it to great distances throughout the universe for all I know. That's the way it should have been read. My apologies. As this impression spreads, all things are set moving toward its realization. Every living thing, every inanimate thing, and the things yet uncreated are stirred toward bringing into being that which you want. God, that's love right there. It's got to be. It's got to be. You got to be loved for the moment that you impress upon your ideas to your loving Father, that He puts the whole universe in motion for you to bring you what you want. I wish more people understood that and can believe it, because it makes such a difference in your life when you finally start believing that. Okay. So anyway, let's move on. Whew, that's powerful. Yeah. Okay. All force begins with the all force begins to be exerted in that direction. All things begin to move toward you. The minds of people everywhere are influenced toward doing the things necessary to the fulfilling of your desires, and they work for you unconsciously. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. That's another book we need to read, y'all. We need to do that together, okay? Because that's powerful. There are things happening in the natural, in the things that you see, but there's so many more things happening in the supernatural, the things that you don't see. There could be, for a specific prayer that you're asking to have answered, there could be something that gets set in motion on the other side of the planet, where someone has had this new urging, this new desire in their heart to go out here and create the very thing that you said you want. And then from that point, they create it, it becomes popular, and then it gets, it's made available all over the world, and then boom, you have the ability to have it. So that's like, you just never know. And it's not for you to know. It is not for you to figure out all the plans and details of how you're going to get it. You don't need to worry about the how. You only need to focus on believing. That's it. Okay? All right. But you can check all this by starting a negative... What? You can check all this by starting a negative impression in the formless substance. I think check is a typo. Looks like that's a typo. I need to fix that. I don't know why that's like that. I need to check another edition. Doubt or unbelief is as certain to start a movement away from you as faith and purpose are to start one toward you. Okay? So get rid of it. And for people who say, oh, I have a hard time doing that. Well, make it unhard. And go get rid of it. Okay? And we talked about that in previous videos too. Alright, so it is not by understanding this. Sorry. It is by not understanding this. I can't read today. I need to get somebody else to do this. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with me? It is... I can read, y'all, for real. Okay? Whew. Alright, let's fix this. Lord help me. Okay. So, it is by not understanding this that most people who try to make sense of mental science in getting rich make their failure. Every hour and moment you spend in giving heed to doubts and fears, every hour you spend in worry, every hour in which your soul is possessed by unbelief. Ooh, possessed. Boy, yo, yo. He went there. Boy. Okay. It sets a current away from you in the whole domain of intelligent substance. All the promises are unto them that believe, and unto them only. Notice how insistent Jesus was upon the point of belief. And now you know the reason why. Since belief is all important. I just said that. I was just talking about that. Okay? Since belief is all important, it behooves you to guard your thoughts. And as your beliefs as your beliefs will be shaped to a very great extent by the things you observe and think about, it's important that you should command your attention. Some people say, oh, I get distracted. Okay, so here's what a distraction is to me. You are relinquishing all power over your mind to something else. Some whim. Some idea, some desire, some person, something. Because you have the power over your mind. You have the power to think about something. When a thought is first introduced into your mind, you can either accept it and let it take root, or you can reject it and think nothing more about it and move on with the rest of your life. So when people, I'm distracted, I don't easily understand that. Figure it out. Okay? If medication is necessary, go do that. Like, I don't know. Okay? So, let's see. And here the will comes into use. For it is by your will that you determine upon what things your attention shall be fixed, right? The things that, this is where, another way of looking at it is prioritizing. This is where you put the things that you want to focus on at the forefront, at the top of your list. And anything else can go down at the bottom or can come off your list completely. Okay, it doesn't have to be there. All right, so hold on one second, you guys. I think let's see this again. Maybe not. This always happens. I'm on camera. Okay, I'm so sorry. All right, so let me tilt this up also. I feel like I'm kind of cut off from you guys. Is that better? Okay. Oh my gosh, like what is wrong with my mental functions? My physical functions, I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go. All right, back into this. If you want to become rich, listen to this. If you want to become rich, you must not make a study of poverty. Things are not brought into being by thinking about their opposites. Health is never to be attained by studying disease and thinking about disease. Righteousness is not to be promoted by studying sin and thinking about sin. Okay? And no one ever got rich by studying poverty and thinking about poverty. How you gonna get rich? When somebody comes along with a business opportunity for you, hello, online marketers, right? When somebody comes along with an opportunity for you to change your life through business and you say, I can't get started because I don't have any money. We're not talking about a multi-million-dollar business where you're going to need lots of millions to have your startup capital, right? We're not talking about a franchise where you need $250,000 to put in, plus you need, $1 million in liquid capital. We're not even talking about a traditional brick and mortar that requires, according to Forbes, on average $65,000. Typically, we're talking about a few $100, sometimes less. I have a business, well, it's not a business opportunity, but I have a system that allows you to be able to start your own business, whatever you want that to be. And if you don't have your own products and services yet, that's okay. You can get started for as little as $37. And people tell me, I don't have the money. No, you don't have the belief because you're too busy having the fear. You want to hold on to the fear, or you want to hold on to your future and your dreams? Which one? Because you can't have both. Like, flat out, boom. Y'all don't like it, stop watching. Like, I don't know what else to say, okay? But you definitely don't need to comment that. Just stop watching. Like, okay, so anyway, I love this. I love this because even with my belief system, okay? And like I said, I believe that I am now, the righteousness of God through Jesus Christ, and the fact that I'm saved. And so Jesus has fulfilled the law for me. And so now that I know these things and I believe that, and I am focused on Jesus and the love that God had for me to send Jesus to me and allow him to die for me, right? I believe that I am now seen as righteous and holy in God's eyes, because when he sees me, he is looking at Jesus, because Jesus took my place. And I know for some people you're like, what? I don't understand that. And that's okay, right? I'm just sharing this with you real quick. And because of that right believing, I can walk out here and live right. Okay? Sneeze? No sneeze? What's happening? Okay? So, this is why, like, I don't really focus a lot of time on like the 10 commandments and all that kind of stuff. Not saying I don't believe in them. They're holy. It's God's holy laws. I believe that. But they've already been fulfilled. It's like for me to sit there and read those when I know that they're called, in the Bible, they're called the ministry of death that has been placed on stones, right? So why do I want to focus on death when Jesus came to bring me eternal life? I'm going to focus on Jesus. And through him, those laws are fulfilled. So it's like he paid my mortgage. Why would I keep paying the bill on my house if my house is paid off? Makes no sense, right? And those laws are a mirror to show you, just like when you look in the mirror to see if you've got a blemish or something, those laws show you where you have sin inside. But if you believe in Jesus Christ, those sins have been taken care of already. You cool, you done. Okay? Does that mean you'll never sin again? No, it does not. But when you do, there is an ever-flowing waterfall of grace and mercy on you thanks to Jesus. That's what I believe. Okay? So if you don't believe that, like I said, it's totally okay. You don't have to argue with me about it. Believe whatever you want. You don't see me talking about, well, don't believe that, and I'm going to fight you on it. I don't, do what you want, okay? It's your will, right? And that's where you focus the will, because your will is based on your belief, your faith. Are y'all starting to get that? What you believe is what you start taking actions about. Right? If I believe it's important to have good hygiene, then every day I'm going to get up, I'm going to take my shower, brush my teeth, brush my hair, right? Make sure my hair is clean, like all those things, right? Make sure my feet are clean. That's what you do. If you don't believe it's important to be clean, you'll be like, I'll do it next week, right? Like, I don't know, okay? So, same type of thing with this, okay? So he goes on to say, medicine is a science of diseases and has only increased disease. Think about it. There are diseases that exist today, didn't exist 50, 60 years ago. Just saying. Religion is a science of sin. As a science of sin, has promoted more sin. Look around. You're seeing pedophiles right in the churches. Like, come on. So don't treat it as a religion. what your beliefs, this is why I say belief system and not religion. Religion are these practices and rituals that people go around doing to make themselves feel better. That's my opinion. Okay, you ain't got to put in the comments, but it's to feed your natural sinful nature of wanting to be self-righteous and depend on yourself for righteousness. I don't depend on myself for my righteousness and holiness. I depend on Jesus. Okay, so I don't have to do all of those religious practices. Oh, and this is how Christianity got split up into all these different denominations. Because people had a need to want to be right. Jesus is right. I'm following him. I don't know what people are doing, okay? But it's so true. And those churches that focus on, you must follow these commandments, write them down, post them up somewhere. Okay, well, all these do is remind you of how sinful you are. And it stirs up sin. The Bible itself says that. Y'all need to go read that, okay? Y'all need to go head on over to that New Testament. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, and economics as a study of poverty will fill the world with wretchedness and want. And that's exactly what you're starting to see more of. Right? As rich as countries tend to become, if you start studying those types of things, if you start studying poverty, more poverty gets brought about. Okay, so he goes on to say, do not talk about poverty, do not investigate it, or concern yourself with it. Never mind what its causes are, you have nothing to do with them. Okay, so if your hope, for example, let's look at this. If what you're looking to do is start your business so that you could have enough money to give to charities, what is you giving to a charity really going to accomplish? Right? It's that whole, that old adage of, if you give a man a fish, he will eat for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, he will eat for a lifetime. I don't want to just shove money out to people. I want to have like a real lasting effect. You know what I'm saying? I know people are going to take what I'm saying the wrong way, but that's okay. Okay. So anyway, let's just go on with the book, because people just don't listen and they're totally ignorant, so whatever. But anyway, what concerns you is the cure. Do not spend your time in charitable work or charity movements. All charity only tends to perpetuate the wretchedness it aims to eradicate. Let me read that again. All charity only tends to perpetuate the wretchedness it aims to eradicate. True. That's what I see. Okay. I do not say that you should be hard-hearted or unkind, and neither am I. I'm not saying that either. Okay. I do not say that you should be hard-hearted or unkind and refuse to hear the cry of need, but you must not try to eradicate poverty in any of the conventional ways that you see today. You got some, charities and things that have been around for over a century. How come y'all ain't accomplished your goal yet? Hello? Just saying. Anyway, put poverty behind you and put all that pertains to it behind you and make good. Okay? Get rich. That is the best way that you can help the poor. Now, most people have it twisted and they're like, how is you, one person getting rich, supposed to help the poor? He's about to tell y'all. Keep reading. This is why I say you have to have an open mind. You can't sit here and read this book with a prepared reaction to everything that he's about to say. You have to just listen, process it, and then make your decision after. Okay? But anyway, get rich. That is the best way you can help the poor. And you cannot hold the mental image, which is to make you rich, if you fill your mind with pictures of poverty. Do not read books or papers which give circumstantial accounts of the wretchedness of the tenement dwellers. Remember, this is written 100 years ago. Or the horrors of child labor and so on. Do not read anything which fills your mind with gloomy images of want and suffering. You cannot help the poor in the least by knowing about these things. And the widespread knowledge of them does not tend at all to do away with poverty. What tends to do away with poverty is not getting the pictures of poverty into your mind, but getting the pictures of wealth into the minds of the poor. Boom. This is why I'm on here today. This is why I've been on here every day. That's my mission. I want to eradicate poverty. And I want to, more importantly than that, I want to eradicate the poverty mentality that a lot of people have. This mentality of scarcity. This mentality that you just want to go with the flow. You just want to conform. You just want to fit in. Get in to fit in. You want to be uniform. You want to be like everybody else. Why? Everybody else is broke out here. They are suffering. They're not happy with their lives. Why would you want to be normal? Makes no sense to me. Let's make this the new normal. And think about it. If more and more people have an abundance of what they need and they want, there is no thought in their mind. There's no need for them to go out here and take from somebody else. If we all have our own, the thought doesn't even come to my mind. I don't think, oh my gosh, I need to go out here and I need to take somebody's chair. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm cool. I got my chair. I got more than one chair. So that's not even a thought in my head. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to take a chair from somebody else. Same thing with money. Now replace chair with money. If I have plenty of money, I got money over here, money over there, I'm good on money. It will never become a thought in my mind that I need to take from someone else. Now, if more of us could be in that position, that's what eradicates these problems, y'all. I love it. I love it. Okay. And for me, like, I don't watch the news. If I want to know the weather, I will look it up on Google. Other than that, I don't need to know anything else. I don't need the traffic report because I don't commute to work. This is my work. I'm home. Okay, so I save on gas, I save on mileage, I go nowhere unless I feel like it. I only have to go to like the grocery store and doctor's appointments and stuff. Like, that's it. And I don't go to doctor's appointments that often because I don't need to. Like, hello. I might go for like my daughter's acting auditions and stuff like that. I have to travel sometimes. But at this point, a lot of times I don't even have to do that anymore because she's old enough to take herself. She's not a minor anymore. So I'm like, cool. I'll go for support, but I don't have to go. So those are cool things. So again, it eradicates so much stress and pressure for me to be in the position that I'm in right now. And for me to be able to show more people how they can do that. If this is something they've been looking to do, then let's bring it on. Let's do it. Let's do it. You know? So yeah, I don't watch the news and hear about all these killings, all this robbery, like, for what? For why? Right? And I don't watch it for the exact same reason he's just talking about here. I don't need to fill my mind with a bunch of negativity morning, afternoon, and night. I don't need to do that. When I fill my mind with the positive things, right? So instead of turning on the TV and watching the news, I will go pick up a book like this one, and I will read this. I would rather read this over and over again than get up and watch the news over and over again. The same story all day, every day. It feels like every day, but like every day you'll get a news feed and they just talk about the same thing all day long. And I started to think to myself, hold on. As big as this world is, with 7 billion people on it, this is all that happened, is just what's going on in the Washington, D.C. area, because that's where I am. This is it. Like, we don't want to talk about what's going on in Singapore or what's going on in, an African country or what's going on in a European country or what's going on, in Canada. They're right above us. Mexico. Oh, wait, we don't want to talk about Mexico. Like, come on. Can we even talk about Puerto Rico? Can we talk about another state in the United States? What's going on with folks? What's some good news y'all want to share? They know that good news doesn't sell. They got to sensationalize everything. And I'm like, I don't have time for drama. Okay, there's enough drama in the Bible. I will read about that. Okay, King David, have y'all read? Oh my gosh. Right? Joseph, oh my goodness. Okay, and these are things that are parallel to what happens today. I don't need the news. And people are like, don't you want to be informed? Informed about what? This is why people are stressed out, depressed, because they keep hearing all these depressing things over and over again. I am not in that state of mind, honey. No, thank you. And I would do without. Thank you so much. So anyway, let me go on with the book because I could talk about this all day. Okay. So let's finish. Let's see. Yes, we got to create pictures of wealth into the minds of the poor. You are not deserting the poor in their misery when you refuse to allow your mind to be filled with pictures of that misery. Poverty can be done away with, not by increasing the number of well-to-do people who think about poverty, but by increasing the number of poor people whose purpose with faith, who purpose with faith to get rich. Let me read that again, make it clear. Poverty can be done away with, y'all. But it's not by increasing the number of well-to-do people who think about poverty. That's not the way. But instead by increasing the number of poor people who learn how to purpose with faith to get rich. More and more people, I would rather, instead of just giving somebody on the street $1, I would give them $1 in this book. You get what I'm saying? And it goes on to say, the poor do not need charity. They need inspiration. And think about it. When you are going through something, you don't want somebody to give you charity. Every time somebody tries to do that for you, what do you say? Oh, no. I don't need your charity. Like sometimes people are actually offended by that, right? So they don't need charity. They need inspiration. Charity only sends them a loaf of bread to keep them alive in their wretchedness, or gives them an entertainment to make them forget for an hour or two. But inspiration causes them to rise out of their misery. If you want to help the poor, demonstrate to them that they can become rich, and then prove it by getting rich yourself. Love it. The only way in which poverty will ever be banished from this world is by getting a large and consistently increasing number of people to practice the teachings of this book. That's why I'm here. Hello. Okay? So people must be taught to become rich by creation, not by competition. Every man who becomes rich by competition throws down behind him the ladder by which he rises and keeps others down. Right? You climb the ladder and then push the ladder down and nobody else can climb up and be up there with you. What are you scared of? Right? And that's how the corporate business structure is. That's a pyramid. And that's why I'm in the online space, because we teach you how to tap into your strengths. You are put on this planet for a reason. There's only one you, even if you're a twin, for a reason. You still have a different DNA. Why? Because there is something about you that God has made and shaped and molded for you to be some type of contribution and enhancement to this world. So why would you want to be like everybody else? Be you. And that is not everybody else. So when I look at online marketing and network marketing, multi-level and all that, it's exactly that, multi-levels. If I start off at the bottom and I apply what I'm learning in this book, I can rise to the top. If I start off the top is not limited. So it's really more like a square structure. Forget the pyramid. Corporate offices look like a pyramid. There's only one or two people at the top, right? You got your CEO, then you got a few high-level positions up there, and then where you got the most space is at the bottom, entry level, where they don't care no way. They can replace you in a heartbeat. But when you're in business for yourself and you have a system in place to get you going, boom, sky's the limit. The sky isn't even the limit. You could do anything you want. Ciao, good night. This is why we got to break out of this cycle of only believing there's just one way to bring in income and there's only one way to get rich, and that's by having a job. Look around and see how many people you know have at least one job. Some have 2 or 3. Are they rich? No, that's why they got 2 or 3 jobs. So instead of having a bunch of jobs and that doesn't work, try something else. I did, and I am so happy, because what I used to make in a week, I can make in a day now. I can make in an hour now. Just saying. So, moving on. Every man who becomes rich by competition throws down behind him the ladder by which he rises and keeps others down. But every man who gets rich by creation opens a way for thousands to follow him and inspires them to do so. You are not showing hardness of heart or an unfeeling disposition when you refuse to pity poverty, see poverty, read about poverty, or think about it, or listen to those who talk about it. Use your willpower to keep your mind off the subject of poverty and to keep it fixed with faith and purpose on the vision of what you want. The vision of what you want. Do you want poverty? Take your will off that. Take your faith and your purpose off that and put it on what you do want. And if you do that in a creative capacity and not competitive, it will inspire other people to do the same way. You will become a trailblazer. I love it. That's the end of the chapter, you guys. Please let me know what you think about that. I absolutely love this chapter. Whew. I told y'all, it's so powerful. And I told y'all I was going to just keep getting more and more intense as we keep reading this book. So yes, you guys, it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so very much for tuning in with me today. Continue sharing your thoughts in the comments, even if you're catching it in a replay instead of live. That's totally fine by me. And thank you. Thank you so much. Take this, change your life, show other people how to do the same thing. So get on out there. I'm not even going to say anything else. I'm gone. I'm done. But oh yes, I am. Why did I say that? Yes, I am. One more thing. Make sure that you look inside of the description box, okay? Because in there are lots of great goodies for you as tools and resources to help you get on your path to freedom and to your own riches. So one of the things I know I have in the description is a way that I took a $1 investment into a business and have turned that into $1,000 days or more. So you definitely want to check that out if you're somebody who's starting to consider, maybe this is a way I could get rich. Maybe I should start looking into online. Because you want to think about it like TV. When TV first came out, there were people out here calling it the devil's box and all that kind of stuff. Now there's a TV in every household and practically every room in the households. Okay? And it's used as a tool. So you have to decide, do you want to use it for good or for bad, right? So the same wave is starting to take place now, you guys. The past 20, 30, 40 years, as time goes on, this has been picking up. And now that we have the technology of being online, it is definitely prime time for you to start looking into ways that you can increase your riches in an unconventional manner, right? Still with integrity, still with dignity, still with ethics. But as opposed to having to, get dressed in a suit, get in your car and drive to work every day, you can create your own work. You can create your own business. And all you need is just the tools to get you started and the training to help you out. So that's what that's all about down there. It's only $1. Make sure you check that out. If you have any questions, all of my contact information is down there in the description box as well. And I'll be happy to chat with you if you have any questions. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow.